Tonight on 12 News, adjusting to a new commute. We'll show you how businesses are dealing with 494 construction. But first, murder charges filed against the father of Barway Collins.
From every report, this was a fine, precocious, exciting young man whose life was snuffed out.
We will continue to develop additional evidence to ensure that Pierre Collins is held accountable for his actions.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The father of Barway Collins is officially charged with second-degree murder in the death of his son.
Prosecutors say Pierre Collins acted alone in the death of his son, Barway. Reporter Sonia Goins is at the Crystal Police Department with more details. Sonia?
Now, there's a lot of information in this case today, Shannon and Alex. As you can imagine, the criminal complaint is very graphic and very heartbreaking. Now, the Hennepin County attorney says he has proof that Pierre Collins was at the scene of the crime. We've learned that 10-year-old Barway Collins was duct taped and bound by his chest and legs before the boy's body was dumped down a storm drain. An autopsy will reveal exactly how the boy died. Officials say on March 18th, Pierre Collins told his wife he was leaving for work that morning, when in fact, he didn't even have a job. Instead, he was at a child support hearing. The complaint also says phone data puts Pierre at the Mississippi River that morning, and then again later that evening when Barway disappeared. Surveillance video also shows Pierre's car parked in front of the Cedarwood apartment complex, then traveling on County Road 81. Authorities also say 2 days before Barway disappeared, Pierre upped the life insurance policy on Barway. He also has another life insurance policy on his son. Officials say they plan to make sure there is justice for Barway.
This is a tragedy. From every report, this was a fine, precocious, exciting young man whose life was snuffed out. There's no reason for it.
This is a sad time for the citizens of Crystal, and we can't forget the tragic manner of how Barway spent his last few hours. It is always sad when a young person dies, but it is devastating when those that he trusts caused his death.
Now, the Hennepin County attorney says he has enough evidence to up the charges to first-degree murder charges. Meanwhile, Pierre Collins is being held on $2 million bond. His first court appearance is on Wednesday. Now, earlier today, the family held a press conference. They say despite these charges, Pierre says he's innocent.
It has not been easy.
Pierre Collins was arrested and booked in the Hennepin County Jail on Monday.
I was able to go to the Hennepin County Jail, pray with him.
Today, Pastor Harding Smith spoke for the family. Yama Collins, Pierre's wife, was also at the event, but she didn't speak to the media.
Mr. Collins maintains his innocence. He asks the community to please withhold judgment and let the criminal justice system work its course.
For weeks, the Crystal Police Department has said Pierre was a suspect and that he wasn't telling the truth. On March 25th, he told Channel 12 News he was cooperating with police.
So I've been working with them. So I don't know why they say that I'm not being truthful. I'm doing everything that I can do for my son to be home.
Barway was last seen March 18th, shortly after getting off his school van.
Whatever we are doing, we will do in unity together.
His family is now making funeral arrangements for the boy who loved to read and make everyone smile.
The family is deeply saddened by the loss of Barway.
Now, we're still waiting to hear details about that funeral arrangements for Barway Collins. Meanwhile, a vigil is planned for Saturday at the Cedarwood Apartments complex at 1 o'clock. Live in Crystal, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
All right, thanks, Crystal. Or thanks, Sonia, rather. And to recap this case, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office believes no one else but Pierre Collins acted in his son's killing.
The criminal complaint says Pierre Collins told his wife he was leaving for work when in fact he was unemployed. The complaint also says Pierre had not one but two life insurance policies on Barway. For one of those insurance policies, he increased the coverage 2 days before his son's death. According to the complaint, electronic phone data puts Pierre Collins at the Mississippi River twice the day of Barway's disappearance, once in the morning and then again in the evening. Again, Pierre Collins is due in court tomorrow on second-degree murder charges.
Elsewhere, we have some sad news to pass along from the Anoka-Hennepin School District. An assistant principal at Jackson Middle School, John Cappers, died unexpectedly on Monday. Parents received letters about the news, and the school brought in additional support staff Tuesday to help students and staff cope. Cappers was a social studies teacher in the school before becoming an assistant principal. A rocky start to the I-494 construction project caused miles of gridlock Monday throughout the Northwest Metro.
Definitely did. Cassie Bonstrom has more on how traffic fared today and how the project is affecting nearby business.
Traffic was better on Tuesday morning than it was on Monday, but motorists have realized that this project is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. When you're in the business of bagels, rush hour is prime time.
Normally the mornings, between like 7 and 10 are normally our busier.
Bruegger's manager Jen Tomsich says traffic jams due to the 494 construction project are causing problems and eating into profits.
We didn't really have anything at all yesterday. It was a lot slower than normal.
A late Sunday night storm delayed MnDOT's work to move all traffic to the northbound lane so they could begin work on the southbound side. That delay meant motorists were stuck using one lane going southbound from I-94 to Highway 55 on Monday morning.
A guest came in and said that it took her from Champlain to Eden Prairie 2.5 hours to get to work on 169 because of 494.
By Tuesday, traffic was better.
It wasn't too bad right now. We were at least moving.
While the project is underway, there will be 2 lanes going southbound for the morning commute. Then a barrier switcher will adjust the lanes midday so there are 2 lanes going northbound in time for the evening rush hour. It's causing drivers to find their own detours.
If I tried to take 494, it would take me an hour to get here.
The plan to fix bridges and add a 3rd lane to 494 has been in the works for months. Still, many found themselves unprepared and are now adjusting, such as Bruegger's, which will be cutting many of their employees' hours. MnDOT acknowledges the inconvenience and frustration that this project is causing, but says when it is finished, it will be worth it. Reporting in Plymouth, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
The 494 project is expected to be completed in November of next year.
The Brooklyn Park City Council has approved the first market-rate luxury apartment complex in the city in over 20 years. The 610 West project calls for 3 buildings on land near the Target campus. There would be 480 units total, from studios up to 3-bedroom apartments. The complex would also include a courtyard and an indoor pool and fitness room.
In Osseo, we have a winner. Get ready for a new logo to be seen in the city and on the city's website. The City Council approved this water tower logo by a unanimous vote on Monday night. Alino Lakes Graphic Arts Company came up with the design. Coming up, a safety feature we should see more of in sports. That's next in Health Check.
And then a little bit later, the Cooper baseball team lights up the scoreboard with a big win. We will have the highlights. But first, the clouds thicken on Wednesday. There is a chance for rain late in the day. Around 700 people in Plymouth are learning how to save a life.
For Heart Safe Plymouth Day, the Plymouth Rotary is offering training on AEDs and performing CPR.
2, 3, 4, 5.
You recognize that beat? Participants learn the correct beat to make chest compressions by listening to the popular Bee Gees song, Staying Alive. The attitude here is everyone should learn CPR because anyone can save a life.
Stop what you're doing and stop.
What we want to do with Heart Safe Plymouth is we want to educate people about sudden cardiac arrest and what it is, because it's not a heart attack. It's an electrical issue of the heart. It's not a plumbing issue of the heart. Both are dangerous, but sudden cardiac arrest without immediate response is deadly.
To date, the group has trained more than 2,000 people. Plymouth was designated a heart-safe community in 2013. Injuries are one of the unfortunate realities of sports.
Athletes are always worried about protecting their bodies from bumps, bruises, sprains, and strains. But in today's Health Check report, Delane Cleveland talks about one part of the body that experts say deserves more attention.
On any field of play, the object is to win the game and avoid injury in the process. Yet one wrong move in a sport where balls fly through the air can have painful and serious consequences for a person's eyes.
There are bones that can fracture around the eye. There's eye muscles that keep the eyes aligned, and if those are damaged, it can be very serious to repair them.
Dr. Tina McCarty of the Eye Care Center in Maple Grove says that every year, more than 600,000 eye injuries occur related to sports and recreation in the U.S.
15% of all eye injuries that are reported. So that percentage is high, and most of them can be protected or prevented against had that athlete worn the proper protection.
That's why Dr. McCarty suggests athletes visit an optometrist who can recommend appropriate eye protection.
Caleb just turned 4 years old, and he's playing t-ball.
Optical manager Amy Kramer fit little Caleb with a pair of sports glasses before he starts t-ball next month.
And with the sports glasses, there's actually a little rubber piece right at the nose bridge, so if anything gets in contact with you, it's not going to bruise and hit your face.
She even had recommendations for a certain reporter who does a lot of bike riding in the summer.
We want a very tight, snug fit around here so the rubber can actually have contact with the skin.
Bottom line, there's protection available that can go a long way on the field of play.
And everybody has a checklist of things that they need to get done before they're ready for the season, and protecting your eyes and thinking about your eyes really needs to be one of them.
For Health Check, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The sports considered to be most high risk for eye injuries include baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, and racquetball. Coming up, meet a volunteer who helps make Brooklyn Center a nicer place.
But first, the powerhouse Wayzata boys tennis team aims for another championship. John Jacobson serves up a team preview next.
The Wayzata boys tennis team has built a very good program over the last decade. This spring, the Trojans are taking aim at a third straight state title. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
Wayzata does have some holes to fill, but the Trojans have skill and depth, and they're aiming to be the best team in the state again.
I mean, we got a strong JV and a lot of kids that put a lot of time and effort in tennis, and I really got this thing going. It's been fun the last, 12 years to really build what we have. So yeah, it's fun to have new guys step up and learn how to play at this level.
There's always, a line of guys that are working really hard to come up, and everybody always fills those roles really well, at least as long as I've been here.
Wayzata brings back some of its top players. Nick Beattie won the individual state singles title last year, and he'll play number 1 again for the Trojans. And Steele Kowalchuk returns to anchor number 1 doubles. His partner is senior captain Nick Kasner.
We did lose a lot of guys, but we had the same thing last year, ended up winning state again. So I know with prod and with all the hard work that us returners can bring, we can be successful again.
This weekend, Wayzata travels to Brookfield East High School in Wisconsin for a tournament featuring some of the best high school tennis teams in the Midwest. Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Wayzata played 2 matches over the past weekend, beating Eastview and Matamidi. The Trojans' first late conference match is next Tuesday at Minnetonka. In prep baseball, Cooper went 1-2 in the first week. The Hawks look to get to the 500 mark as they hosted Minneapolis South. South gets 3 runs in the top of the first, but it's all Hawks after that. Bottom of the first, Tyler Haley drives a fly ball to the fence and left to score Thomas Hall. That makes it 4-3 Cooper. Bottom of the second, 2 on, 2 out. Haley cracks one deep to right this time, and it's gone for a 3-run homer, and it's 9-3 Cooper. And that's just the start of a big rally. Andrew Lee drops in a base hit. Garrett Deneuer comes home. And then Will Young will single through the hole, the plate Lucas Messer, and it's 12-3 Hawks. To the third inning, Hall leads off with a shot to the fence. Cooper's field dimensions are pretty big, and Hall will blaze all the way around the bases for an inside the park home run. Cooper wallops South 25-3 in 5 innings is the final. In softball, Cooper had a lopsided win and a lopsided loss in their first 2 outings. The Hawks looking for a closer one as they hosted Benilde in a Metro West Conference game. Benilde gets to Cooper pitcher Laura Biener in the first. Maddie Houlihan pounding one deep to the opposite field. Jamie Dritt scores to make it 1-0 on Houlihan's double. The Red Knights add 1 more to lead 2-0. 4th inning, Christine Lager grounds one past the shortstop for PSM. Houlihan and Lindsay Hackner score on the play, and it's 5-1 Red Knights. They tack on another run to lead 6-1 after 4. Cooper chips away at that deficit. Judy Bruner smacking a single to center in the 5th inning to score Macy Hallquist. Cooper's back within 7-3 with 2 innings to play. An inning later in the 6th, Tamara Hicks singles to score Yvette Williams-Upshur. The rally falls short and Benilde wins it by a final score of 8-4. Also in prep softball, Heritage visiting Providence Academy. No score in the 3rd inning when the Lions' Adam Loughery drills a hit to right field. This one will drop in. Mo Burns scores on the play. Loughery hustling all the way to second, gets a double, and it's 1-0 Providence. Trailing 2-1 in the 6th inning, the Eagles' Morgan Meisner rips a ball down the left field line, and this one goes away. 2-run score on the play. Meisner ends up on third base, and it's a 3-2 lead for Heritage. Bottom of the 6th innings, Meisner getting it done with the glove here, reaching over the fence on the foul pop-up and getting the out. Eagles 7th grader Abby Geertsen comes on to pitch and earns a save and relief with a strikeout to end the game, and Heritage beats Providence 4-2. The Armstrong girls lacrosse team is coming off back-to-back state tournament appearances. The Falcons were at home to play Irondale in their season opener. First half of play, Armstrong's Amy Master weaves her way through the Knights' defense and goes up high with her shot to score, giving the Falcons a 4-3 lead. Armstrong strikes quickly again, this time Master setting up Haley Holdall for the shot and goal, and it's 5-3 Armstrong. Falcons would lead at 7-3 at halftime. Second half, Ella Halverson picks up an assist here with her pass to Master. The senior attack netting another goal, and it's 9-4 Armstrong. Holdall will run out from the side of the net, reverses in front and scores, and Armstrong goes on to win 11-5. The Falcons play at Maple Grove on Friday. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, a Brooklyn Center volunteer who makes the world a little more beautiful.
We'll be right back.
All this week for Volunteer Appreciation Week, we are profiling some of the fantastic volunteers in our area.
In Brooklyn Center, Jill Dalton saw a need and she responded in a big way.
This whole thing started out on the Brooklyn Center Bulletin Board Facebook page when somebody was complaining about all the trash that was on Brooklyn Boulevard. And, instead of everybody, ganging up and grousing about it, suddenly 52 comments later, bam, people were really energized to fix it.
It only took 52 comments. Jill Dalton organized one cleanup on Brooklyn Boulevard that was so successful, she organized a second one around part of Shingle Creek. It also wasn't much of a surprise to see that when Jill met us for the interview, she saw trash, she was grabbing trash bags, got right to work.
You see trash, you just got to clean it up. I'm sure it's because of all the high winds we've had lately. Seems to be a funnel right here for it.
And it is the season for trash pickups. There are 3 scheduled in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center area over the next 2 weeks, and we've posted those on our website. So if it's great weather, grab a trash bag, get to work.
That's right, get to work. Thanks so much for joining us.